Good evening. Another day, another show. Uh, yeah, I think I have a subject which is slightly sensitive, but I think it's important we talk about it. Uh, Political parties are winning elections. There's a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. Congress won Karnataka. Somebody wins something else. BJP wins something else, which is good for them. But the problem is not winning and losing of these political parties. I tell you what the problem is. The problem is that every time a political party wins, the the curriculum of schools are being changed, and I think that is really really wrong. Uh, I mean, BJP came to power. They came with a list of their heroes. Those heroes were included in schools. BJP went out of power. Uh, Congress come to power. They've come with their heroes. In Rajasthan, school books are being changed to change history. Uh, you know, Whether we put them in books or don't put them in books, most of these folklores are part of our society. They are part of our ecosystem. There are folk music. There are folk songs. Uh, there is lots that goes on uh, in an environment related to mythology and history. Mythology especially has no documentation. It's all mythology. But history has a lot of documentation. History has people. History has tour guides. History has a lot of people, who keep talking it down to generations to come. And what happens to textbooks? What happens to kids? They have a fertile mind. They go to school 1 year and they learn that Gandhi is a hero. They go back to the next class and there is somebody else a hero. I think we are tampering with a whole generation of youngsters for political needs. And I think as a nation we need to stop this. I find it sad, it is quite disgusting, and it is incorrect. It is incorrect to a whole generation of youngsters who we are going to churn out, who are going to be confused, who have no clue what history is. I think the government, whichever government it is, this is not about government. This is completely a government, like people say, a political. They should form a committee or whatever you call it, with fellows from the right wing, intellectuals from the left wing, intellectuals from south, north, east, west. Figure out your textbooks. Textbooks can't be tampered with. Education cannot be tampered with. Education is not about winning and losing in politics. Education is about generation. Education is about future. Education is about telling our kids what is right and wrong. Education is about building a foundation on which they build their. People keep talking about globally India is run by 25 Indians. Globally, Indians are running 25 corporations is because they've had fantastic education. The education system was superb. The education system threw them up. They came through our education system. And those days, there were no private education schools. There were public education schools and the government education schools. So education wasn't bad. It's just that the politicians did not interfere in our education. They were doing their own thing, and we were doing our own thing. Today, politicians have become an integral part of education. Now, this has two problems. One, they're not meant to be there, and two, they're not qualified to be there. How do politicians decide what children need to study? No, historians need to decide. Historians with proper education, with proper degrees, who know the subject, uh, who sit together and decide. I think we are heading towards a big, big crisis. In 2007-8, I don't remember the year, I was called to Delhi, and I went there on short notice. And those times it was the UPA government, and I had a meeting with some very senior people in the government. I'm talking of senior meaning absolutely, absolutely senior, top of the triangle. And they gave me a brief, and it was one of the most interesting briefs I ever got in my life. The brief was, Tarun, how do we get kids to start going back to science and stop taking commerce as a line. They had nothing against commerce, but the view was that a nation full of scientifically inclined kids will have a very bright future. I thought it was fantastic, really, really fantastic. And one of the inputs I gave them then was that if you bring scientists from our organizations onto prime time news, they can become cult figures who youngsters can follow. And I think that happened from the year after. I did a couple of training programs, and then you had scientists from ISRO and all kinds of institutes on prime time talking about technology. When you see scientists on prime time talking technology, a whole generation gets inspired, kids get inspired. Abdul Kalam was a cult figure. Why? Because kids loved him. He was science, 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 and more science. And every kid wanted to be an Abdul Kalam. You need people like that. You need people like that deciding what's the future of our kids. Not people with biased opinions and biased views about history and their agendas. And it is pathetic. And every time I see a press conference with a politician talking about education, it just boils my blood. I think it's wrong. It's fundamentally wrong. They should be banned. Like the way you have a committee to decide the election commissioner, you need to have a committee that decides the content of education. It can't be decided by politicians. I just think it's wrong. And it is affecting our youngsters, it's affecting our kids. Mentally, they are unstable, they're reacting badly because they don't know what is correct. Uh, you know, I met a small girl and I keep talking about her all the time. She must be about 8, 10 years old. I met her at a casual event, a family gathering. She came with her mom. Her mom's my wife's friend. That's how I met her. I must have spent the whole evening with her. She must be about 10 years old or 8 years old. She's growing up in the US. Uh, Unbelievably bright kid. We sat and spoke about worldview. We spoke about politics. We spoke about so many subjects: global environment, uh, global warming. But what really hit me was her knowledge about Italian football and English football. Her favorite club was Man U, and her favorite club was Real Madrid. She knew all the players. She knew where they were getting transferred. She knew pretty much everything. And she's an output of a great education system, an education system that empowers kids with knowledge, information, which is correct and real. Uh, I think as parents, I've got two daughters, grown up daughters now. They've come through a very good education system and they're doing very well for themselves. I really think parents who have younger children need to stand up and demanding a stop on this nonsensical stuff that is going on, where politicians, political parties, people with half baked information, people with no qualification, having opinion on our kids, their knowledge, what they need to do, it needs to stop. And I think if I mean I'm airing my view today, and I'm going to have a lot of backlash on it. But it's okay. I think each of us need to air our views, and especially people who have kids need to air their views. I think kids deserve a better future. Kids deserve a better education. Kids deserve good government education. I mean, I'm okay with you sending women free in the bus and giving free hospitals. All that is fine. Where is it? Where is the policy for the kids? Where are the school grounds? Where is the funding for education? I think every kid till the age of 12 in India should be given free education, or till the age of 15 should be given free education, irrespective of which school they go to. Education, like oxygen, should be free in this country, and this should be our big demand when we go into 24. Because I think giving away freebies to the whole world and its mother, it's not helping us. Giving away freebies to the kids should be the big agenda for 24. And I hope this reaches people, and whoever it reaches, please contribute to this cause. And let's help a generation that's going to come now with a better, brighter, and a beautiful future. This was a rant because it's a rant that I'm very emotional about. And I think if I get good feedback, it is good. If I get bad feedback, it's good for the people who are giving bad feedback. But this is about kids and their future. Thank you very much. God bless you. Bye.